Most people wake up on Monday with that heavy feeling in their chest. What if the problem isn't Monday itself, but the way you're starting it? There's something I learned that completely changed how I start my week. It's not a productivity hack. It's not a to-do list. It's a prayer. But not just any prayer. There's a specific way to pray at the start of the week that literally shifts your mind, your heart, and your energy before you even walk out the door. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let me ask you something. How do you normally start your Monday? You open your eyes, grab your phone, and you're already seeing notifications. Work problems, messages you need to reply to, the list of everything you have to get done this week. And before you even get out of bed, your mind is already running at full speed. Have you ever felt that? That feeling like the week already started and you're already behind. Like you're entering a race already exhausted before the starting gun even goes off. And then the day goes by, the week goes by, and that feeling of anxiety, of rushing, of things being out of control, it doesn't go away. It stays, it builds up, and then you get to the end of the week and you look back and think, why was I so stressed? Why did I react that way? Why couldn't I just have some peace? The problem didn't start on Wednesday. The problem started Monday morning because you didn't prepare your inside before stepping into the world. And that's exactly what the right prayer can change. Before I talk about the prayer itself, I need to explain why most morning prayers don't work the way people expect them to. A lot of people pray like this: Lord, bless me today. Protect me. Fix my problems. Amen. And then they run out the door. That's not really a prayer. That's a wish list. And when we only pray with requests, we're praying with our focus on the problem, not on God. We're looking at what's missing, what scares us, what might go wrong. The prayer that actually transforms the start of your week has a different structure. It has 5 parts, and I'm going to walk you through each one right now. The first part is acknowledgement. Before you ask for anything, before you talk about your week, your job, your problems, you stop and acknowledge who God is. Not in a mechanical way, in a real way. You say in your own words, God, you are bigger than anything I'm going to face this week. Sounds simple, but it shifts the angle of your mind. Because when you acknowledge the greatness of God before you think about your problems, the problems end up in the right size. The second part is sincere gratitude, not list gratitude. Not thank you for my health, my family, my job. That matters, but it's automatic. Sincere gratitude is when you stop and think of one specific thing that happened last week that was good. Just one thing. It can be small. A good conversation, a moment of peace, a problem that got resolved, and you thank God for that specific thing. Because when you're grateful for the specific, you're training your mind and your heart to see what God has already done. And whoever sees what God has already done has more faith for the week ahead. The third part is surrender. This is the part most people skip. It's when you look at the problems of your week and say, I know you exist, but I'm not your owner. You hand the situations of your week over to God, not in a giving up kind of way, in a trusting kind of way. There's a huge difference between dropping a problem because you don't want to deal with it and surrendering a problem because you trust that God is bigger than it. Surrender doesn't remove your responsibility. It removes the weight that was never yours to carry. The fourth part is asking for inner peace, not for perfect circumstances, for inner peace, because you can have a hard week and still have peace. The peace the Bible describes doesn't depend on everything being fine on the outside. It's a decision to trust that whoever is in control is bigger than you are. So you ask specifically, Lord, give me peace that goes beyond my understanding this week. When I don't understand things, give me peace. When I feel fear, give me peace. When I don't know what to do, give me peace. And the fifth part is the declaration. You end the prayer by making a declaration out loud, not shouting, but with conviction. You declare how you're going to enter this week. For example, this week I'm going to walk in peace. I'm going to act with wisdom. I'm going to be someone who carries lightness, not heaviness. I choose this week to see God's hand in everything. Declarations have power. They align what you believe with what you say. And when those two things are aligned, your posture changes. The way you react changes. Sometimes even your expression changes. Now, I need to talk about one detail that sounds small, but makes all the difference. The timing of this prayer. A lot of people pray at the end of the day, when they're already tired, when the problems have already happened, when the emotions are already drained. That matters, but it's not what changes the start of the week. The prayer that transforms your Monday has to happen before. Before you pick up your phone, before you have coffee, before you think about what you need to do, before anything. It doesn't need to be long. It can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but those minutes need to be the first ones of your day, because what enters your mind first is what's going to color everything that comes after. If the first thought of Monday is a work notification, you're going to carry work stress all week. If the first thought is God, you're going to carry something completely different. Let me be straight with you for a second. Have you ever had a Monday that just started differently? A Monday where, for some reason, you woke up with a calm that wasn't normal, where even with hard things ahead, you just felt like you were going to be okay. That feeling wasn't random. Something happened that aligned your inside before you stepped into the day. Maybe you slept well. Maybe you had a good conversation the night before. Maybe you prayed more than usual. What I'm telling you today is that you can create that condition on purpose, not wait for it to happen. Create it, because peace is not a state that shows up when the problems disappear. Peace is a state you train. It's a choice you make before you enter the arena. And prayer is the training. There's a verse in the book of Philippians that I always come back to when I start the week. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds." Look at how clear the logic is. You pray, you give thanks, you present your requests, and then, as a result, the peace of God guards your heart. You don't create the peace guards you, but you have to pray first. So, going back to the beginning, the heavy Monday, the week that feels too big, the feeling that you never have enough peace, that doesn't change with luck, it changes with intention. The powerful prayer to start the week has 5 parts. Acknowledge who God is. Be grateful for the specific. Surrender your situations. Ask for inner peace. And declare how you're going to enter this week. And it needs to be the very first thing you do on Monday morning before anything else. You don't need a perfect week. You need an anchor at the start of it. And that anchor is prayer. Try this next Monday. Set aside 10 minutes before you pick up your phone, before you look at what you have to do, and pray through those 5 parts. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be eloquent. It just needs to be honest. And watch how the tone of your whole week changes. Because when you start from the inside out, when you prepare your heart before facing the world, the entire week takes on a different feeling. Problems will still show up, but you'll walk into them differently, more grounded, more confident, with a peace that makes sense even when the circumstances don't. If this helped you, subscribe so you don't miss the next video.